Text me and I'll text you back. Text me and I'll text you back. Text me then I'll text you back. You text me then I'll text you back. Text me then I'll text you back. TikTok, you don't stop. I will help you make your paper stack. Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Where you at now? 205-964-52439. Yep. 205-964-52439. You know.
Let it redo everything.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna start over. Instagram, forgive us.
Y'all let us know if you can hear us
Okay.
now.
Hey, here we go. Sorry about that. I'm just going all in. All right.
And action.
The seller has signed the contract. What's next? We're going to talk about real estate investing with a strong emphasis on wholesaling real estate, where your cash or credit is irrelevant.
Hey, that shirt looks good on camera.
It does. I like it.
Oh, thank you. I tried. Anyway, so low risk, high reward opportunity, aka wholesaling real estate. So this is your opportunity to get your questions answered for free. Right here with us. Text the word Gator to the number 205-964-5243. We're here to try to learn and educate at the same time. You all, I had something to ask that someone would help me with, but I can't remember what it is.
It'll come to you.
Oh, I know what it is. Is there anyone out there that's good? Well, wait a minute. Let me send out the text first. Let me get some more people on here. I'll say it later. Anyway, so text the word Gator to the number 205-964-5243 if you want to join the live stream today. You want to partner with us on self-storage or apartments, text the word units to this number today. On houses, text 5050 to the number 205-964-5243 to this number. If you want the step-by-step process on how all of this works, text VIP to the number 205-964-5243. These set of videos are going to give you a really, really strong foundation on how everything works. So we put these videos together. Not saying you still need to watch a lot of the other videos, but this is going to be a really good start. People are always asking, where should I start? As far as the education process, right here. Text VIP to the number. The paperwork. Everybody needs this, or a version of this, right? This is your superpower in this biz, is the actual paperwork. So text the word contract to the number. Not only do you get access to the contract that I've been using since 2003, but also show you how to explain it. How to fill it out for sellers and buyers, and how to get it signed electronically. The times, remember? So Monday through Wednesday, 3:45 p.m. Eastern is when we go on, ish. And then on Thursdays around 8:05 p.m. Eastern. All right. We don't ask for much. Please subscribe, share this, like it, and follow. Please, please, please. That's enough for now.
Yeah. All right, so let's kick it off on YouTube. Okay, this one came from
So YouTube.
this one came from Trouble Is Just Us. Okay. They said, "Good afternoon. I'm new and I want to get started." Well, you have because you're here. This one came from Alethea Hines. She said, "Can you wholesale a house with a reverse mortgage?"
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So she asked a question and she came on over. So, can you wholesale a house with a reverse mortgage? That's the wrong text. And the answer is yes, you can. It's still going to boil down to the numbers. If they don't have a prepayment restriction, most definitely you can. Of course, at the end of the day, again, the numbers have to work in order for you to be able to make that happen. So to answer the question, yes, you can.
Yes, you can. All right. So this one came from Mac TV from YouTube. They said, "How do you get a person out of a house that's been living there rent free for 20 years? The homeowner has let her stay there and he's willing to sell but doesn't want to get her out."
Okay, so all right now, okay, she's ready to sell, but the owner doesn't want her to move out, or or the owner don't care, and you have to get them out.
It says the homeowner has let her stay there and he's willing to sell but doesn't want to get her out.
He didn't want to have to put out.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that's part of your negotiation. That could be a good thing. Okay. So you don't want to deal with what it's going to take to get them out of there.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Therefore, we need to be compensated for the likelihood that we have to go through the entire legal process to evict them.
He said he doesn't care.
Okay. So that too. But it's still going to cost us time and money potentially.
Yeah.
All right. So that's the first thing. So you should get it cheaper than you probably were going to get it. Mm-hmm. I need a put the you know what out price.
So at this point, she's a squatter, right?
Technically,
no, but
yeah. Once they buy it, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now they may leave with no problem. Hey, we got 20 years in. Hey, it's been good. Hey, it's been so nice. We've had time together. So 20 years of free rent, man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, 20 years of free rent.
That's a blessing.
Even at $500 a month, that's $120,000. Right. If my math is correct.
Better have been saving your money.
500 times 12 is 6,000. 20 times 6,000 is 120.
And you say you're not good at math.
Hey, I'm adding and subtracting. don't take me beyond that now. Adding and subtracting. But so anyway, yeah, that's you got them. That's to the good or whatever. So with that being said, so now you approach them. So I'm about to buy this house, and
you're no longer welcome here.
We're going to go in a different direction. And how much time do you need to move? And then they may say, well, I just need 30 days, blah, blah. Okay, that's fine. That's reasonable. Okay, so the 30 days go past. Okay, so now you're going to put that in writing, what you told them. You want to put it in writing. And now it really probably doesn't go in effect until you actually get ownership of possession, or ownership/possession. Well, ownership of the property. You don't have possession. But and so once that happens, now depending on the state you're in, will determine if they don't leave voluntarily. Then the next thing I'm gonna do before I get lawyers and that type of stuff involved, I'm gonna offer them some money and just be very clear. Put that in writing also. You can verbalize it, but definitely in writing. Also, is you're gonna have to leave. Why not? As a reasonable human being. You get paid to leave. we will fund the move, and we will give you some little extra money for that also, right? Now you as a wholesaler, you're not doing well. It depends on your buyer. Some buyers will just take it on and they won't even trip about it. They'll just handle it. But if they say, well, before I close on this, it needs to be vacant. All right, so that's a different conversation. So now you are going to have to come up with some money to, number one, probably help them move if they don't have it, and then whatever amount you agree upon to pay them to move. Now, I would probably say I would fund the move and $1,000, right? And then we'll just work our way from there.
That ain't a bad deal, man.
No, you have to leave anyway.
Yeah, that ain't a bad deal. And you paying and you getting $1,000.
Yeah, you have to move anyway.
I'd skedaddle.
Yeah.
Yeah. That ain't bad.
That makes sense to me and you.
Yeah, but
Somebody, hey, I just told you now, at $500 a month, it may be more than that, but I'm just using some conservative numbers over 20 years. You basically have lived rent free. That's $120,000. I had to do that with this family. The lady sold it to me, and her son and his wife, and I guess that would have been her grandson. They were living in her house for over 10 years free. I want to say 15, if I remember correctly.
She put him out.
He passed away, so now they got to go now. She said, I asked them, I told them I would give them an entire year to find somewhere else to live. A year now. She always paid the taxes on the property. A lot of times the maintenance that was done on, and they were not paying her anything. Now some people,
I get it.
Some people will get mad. Listen, she didn't, after the son died, she didn't say y'all got to get out. She gave him an entire year.
Yeah.
And it had exceeded that point. So
and they already
anyway, I went over and I put a letter in the mailbox. And she called me.
And if the son died, she was receiving some money.
And she called me, and I explained what it was, and she said, "Yes, I understand. We'll move out. We'll start looking for somewhere, blah blah blah, or whatever." So the buyer that I already had for, he's like, "Yeah, they're gonna have to be out of there before I do anything, or whatever." So it was on me. So I went over, I actually met with them, and she said, "Well, yeah, we'll be out by such and such date." So when that day came, I went over there, and nothing. They had packed a couple of boxes, but that they wouldn't do it. So I said, "Okay, well, we'll do it like this." Then I said, "I see you all are struggling to get your stuff together. So we really don't have a way of moving this stuff." I said, "That's no problem." So I went and rented a U-Haul, but it's a Metro truck, but a U-Haul. And I went over there with me and one of my homeboys this a few years back. And I was in La La Land to think that he and I were going to help them move all that stuff out of there. Until you start getting ready to move stuff, you really don't realize how much stuff you got to move or whatever. And so we started, they still really hadn't packed much up. And so, but the closing was like the closing was 2 days from there. It was the next day. I'm sorry. It was the next day. And so, my buyer was adamant that he was not going to do anything until they were out of there. Mm-hmm. And so I said, "Oh, well, we're not going to be able to do this. I'm physically not going to be able to do it. I don't know about him. I knew my capabilities when I wasn't making that much money on it." So what I did was I went to this spot and picked up a couple of guys of
don't say that.
I say that nothing wrong with that.
Don't say that.
What, Hispanic descent? I can't say that. And so I picked up. I got three of them. I've got 3 guys. And so we went over, and those guys got it in, baby. We moved them all that stuff out of that house in like 5 hours. Not only did we get it moved, there was a storage facility. I had to pay for that too, and a storage facility just like less than a half a mile from there. So, but when the closing was, by the time we got to the storage, I was probably about 30 minutes from the time that the closing was going to happen. And so I went on in and just opened the storage up and let them, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so when I came back, I told them, I said, it's going to be about an hour and a half before I come back. They said, and they let me know that's fine. And so when I came back, they were just sitting outside the storage waiting, and I paid them or whatever. But I literally had to make that happen because they wasn't hostile. They just wasn't going to move. They wasn't going to lift a finger to move, you know? So anyway.
Who continued paying for the storage now, or they lost their stuff?
It was in their name. I just paid for it.
Oh, okay.
You know?
Let's see this from going.
It could have been in my name if that was the only paper that was gonna be made.
That's what I was trying to say. I was trying to say.
I can assure you from me anyway. So hey, that's how it went down. Hey, they made that happen.
Okay. Yeah, they do.
Hey, made that happen, man. Hey, whew. We got all that stuff out of there in about 5 hours. They weren't even packed up. We got it out of there.
Hold my beer.
Oh yeah.
All right, we have one on Instagram. Just one. J_impossible98 said, this is why I don't say the names for real. But she asked about a deal she submitted over.
I don't know if she would have to provide more information than that.
Yeah.
Just text me the address and I'll see your name also.
All right. Miguel said, does your contract work in Massachusetts?
Oh, does it work in Massachusetts? I was looking at this thing. I'm sorry. Yes, it does. It does. It does. It works everywhere.
Where are you? All right. This one came from Jay Smith on YouTube. He said, is for sale by owners or is FSBO a good site to look for leads?
FSBO. Well, I'm going to always side on doing something. It's just some places are better to look for leads than others. Now, let me just say this. Now, the property, they already want to sell.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You just got to negotiate a price that works. You just have to understand. And it really doesn't matter whatever form of lead generation that you do. The majority of people are going to want more than what makes sense for you as a wholesale deal. Now, it may be an opportunity to do something else, maybe some owner financing or something, but we do know they want to sell and their contact information is out there. So those two things make it easier to find those potential opportunities, but just understand, just using real numbers, if it's 100 of them listed that they want to sell, maybe 2 or 3 of those may sell at a price that works for you. You know, maybe a little higher percentage, depending on the negotiating skills, but, just expect that most people are going to want more than what makes sense for you. But most won't, but enough will.
All right. This one came from Dre Fletcher. He said, I have a 9-bedroom house that the owner just sent pictures of and a renter spreadsheet of what each tenant in the house pays. I had a buyer that does room shares, but he's out of town. I can get in touch. So maybe he's trying to send that over to us, is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, just either submit through dealator.com, through the send deals tab, or just text me.
Okay. This one came from Dayanica Darden. She said, I work in a building with a realtor. He does very well for himself selling property and land. I went into his office the other day and I noticed that he has a list of things on a board. One thing I noticed was a list of investors and cash buyers with about 10 names under each. Should I say something to him about what I'm trying to do and maybe he might have the cash buyers?
Yeah, you just, they won't know that you want to network with them unless you let them know. But obviously you need to think of terms in, how are they going to win in that situation?
Right. What can they get out of it? Yeah. All right, this one came from Tori Pip Specialist. They said I have a pre-foreclosure house under contract, but I need help finding a buy and hold buyer.
Okay, it's still going to boil down to the numbers. You know what makes that deal attractive as a buy and hold. When I say the numbers, what is it going to cost to get it out of pre-foreclosure? I'm assuming they're going to do a subject to. What is the monthly payment? What is the rental rate in that area? You know, all that will factor in. The ARV would help also.
All right. Let's see. This one came from Darius Brown. They said when you're wholesaling a property in an LLC name, are you supposed to put the EIN on the contract or the seller's social security number?
No.
Now wanna?
Neither one of them.
Okay. All right, that's all I got right now.
Okay, so
Oh wait, we got one more. Just when I said that. All right, this came from Sarah, Miss Juicy Jackson. Okay, girl. She said, I know you be saying that there's a plan for old vacant Kmart buildings. So what about all of these old gas stations I see everywhere? You think you can do anything with that?
I wouldn't definitely say no. I'm just for me personally, I don't have a game plan for them unless they're a lot of it comes on it's on a large lot, like several acres would be ideal if that's the situation, which normally a lot of them are not that way. We're talking
It had to be
truck
like
stop side of like a closed truck stop to be several acres. Normally gas stations own like a half an acre at best or whatever. So but then sometimes they'd be on a corner where it makes sense, where there's a lot of activity. So that's possible, but a lot of times when a gas station is closed, the area is sort of going with it. Or not always, but a lot of times that's the situation. So it's worth a look. Ideally would like a lot of activity around it, meaning like there's Walgreens on one corner, there's a Starbucks on the other. Ideally would like be in a neighborhood like that, because I can take you plenty of places in Birmingham where they're closed gas stations, and I have no interest in investing in them. So, but
like how like some of those Walmarts or like those Sam's Clubs have a gas station.
Yeah,
it had to be something like that, maybe.
Well, yeah, that's so rare.
It is rare.
I don't know if I've ever seen one that like a Sam's Club and the gas station was closed. If it was still open, if the Sam's Club was still open.
Yeah.
People like, and I just got a Sam's card, and you have to like crack on that gas or whatever. So
yeah, the lines be long.
Yes.
All right, this is on Instagram. Can you talk about wholesaling apartments?
Okay, can I talk about wholesaling apartments? Okay, so you got two classes. You got still considered residential, 1 to 4 units, 2 to 4 units. And then 5+ units are considered commercial when you start talking about multi-family/apartment buildings. All right, so they're not generally evaluated. Well, they're not evaluated like houses. We just find other houses that are sold similar to our house within a certain distance, within a certain time frame. Boom, we have an ARV. Not done that way with apartments for the most part. Now, some people will compare in areas, what this particular apartment class building sold for per door, and they'll do that. Some people will do it that way, but most of the time, especially when you get banks and some lending involved, they want to see what type of income it's producing or possibly can produce or whatever. So now you get into the monthly rents collected and whatever income is produced by the facility, the property, and then minus the expenses. And that's going to give you annually your net operating income, short for NOI is the short version of that. And so the cap rate, so whatever price they're asking into that NOI, and it gives you the capitalization rate, short for cap rate. How you can look at that is if I put up $1,000, what percentage on a yearly basis what I get back on my money, right? So cap rates can range, from 3%, and up. Just depends on the market. It's so hard to just tell you because each market is different. Then you have segments within the markets where the cap rate will change. Generally speaking, people getting 6, 7, 8%, they're really happy. Anything double digits, they're elated. But sometimes your market may dictate it to be double digits of that part of your market or whatever. So it's not evaluated the same. So, but at the end of the day, if you find a motivated seller, they don't have to be as motivated, meaning you don't have to have as significant of a discount as you do with houses to make money on it compared to houses. So, but at the end of the day, if you have a seller in the contract, a buyer in the contract, a seller at one price and a buyer in the contract at a higher price, it works the same as houses at that point. But getting to that point in the valuation, and a lot of times you're talking about bigger numbers, it's just a totally different ballgame. I don't know if I explained it, but it's not just that cut and dry.
All right. Let's keep going. This one came from Brian Kimbrough Videos. You could be my cousin. They said, I'm in the south suburbs of Chicago, and I watched your video last night about Illinois wholesaling. I'm hurt. Can I make money until I get my realtor's license?
Yeah, you can still make money. You probably watched it when I had the attorney on from there, so I didn't want to just go into a whole diatribe on what I would do if I was there, but you can still do it. I hadn't explained this in a while. I think I just have a video. What is that? NL, that's what it is. Hold on a second. Let me see. Real quick. Let me see. Yeah, I have an actual video I did where I explained it. So if you just text me, explain how to wholesale houses in Illinois, Kansas, or Oklahoma, then I'll send you a video that I did to explain how you can still do it legally, of course.
All right. Steve Lawton said, Lawton. Steve Lawton. Do you have anyone that helps design websites?
Yeah. What did I do on somebody I recently? Well, this is what a simple thing you can do is for the websites. All right. Well, number one, you can copy in the sense of use that as inspiration. That's a better way of saying it, of a site that you like, the layout, the design of it. And then you'll have to just add your content. So you say, well, I have no idea on how to do that. So the first thing you need to do is determine what your website name was going to be, your whatever .com or .net or whatever extension you're using. That's called a domain name. Ideally, with a domain name, the shorter the better, and if it can tell what you do. Now, of course, WeBuyHouses.com has not been available for a long time, so you can't use that. So you have to get creative and try to come up with a phrase, if possible, on how we actually talk, right? Mm-hmm. Two of my sites that I use, and sometimes you have to make up words like dealator.com or flippernar.com, which have nothing to do with buying houses more or less. But those are called brandables, like Google. What is Google? If you didn't know anything about the internet, somebody said, "Could you tell me what Google is?" You wouldn't know what it is. But they've done such a good job of branding it. It's one of the biggest brands in the world, right? Or if someone said, "What is TikTok?" We'll just use that as an example. One of the biggest brands in the world, or whatever. Now those are brandables. All right. But you just have to spend a little bit more time letting people know what those are compared to iCloseFast.com. Now, that doesn't tell you what you do, but it sort of tells you what you do. Like you assume know anything about real estate, the word close is normally, well, it could be more than just real estate because people can close people in all types of sales positions or whatever. But it's iCloseFast.com is one of my sites, and I have cashbuyer.com, cash with a K. Now, spelled differently or whatever, but it's easy to remember or whatever. So just to give you an example, so you start there. So you can use either one of those sites as a layout if you want to do that. Now, for my land site, one of them is, I don't know if I have another, but it's webuyland2.com. Like, we also buy land, but I use the actual number 2. So you be a little creative or whatever with that. And so now you can build sites on free platforms like GoDaddy.com, which is where you can also register a name, and Wix, W-I-X, and Weebly. If you go to Fiverr.com, you can get someone there to build your site on those platforms. And you'll be out of all of maybe $100 to get that done. So, and you just have to pay the hosting, which can be anywhere from a couple of dollars up to maybe $10 a month or whatever. So.
All right. What if they were trying to design a website for you? How could they?
For me? That's what they're asking?
I don't know. I'm just saying.
Oh, I'm always into, people any type of tech expertise you got out there. I'm going to probably want to know about it. If you get down, I don't care what it is. I'm going to probably want to at least have a conversation on it.
All right.
Oh, this is what I want to ask since we saw the middle way in now. Is that if anyone has expertise in finding individuals behind business entities, such as an LLC, an incorporation, finding the person to talk to. Oh, and so, yeah, you need to please hit me up on that also if you're good at it. Now, I know it's sites you go to, but I need to talk to somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like one of them on a property that I'm looking at, it says that they didn't renew it back in 2018. That was 4 years ago. So, but those human beings, I'm assuming, still exist, but the property is still listed in their name. Now it's in a tax deed situation or whatever. So I'm just trying to find an easier path to getting possession of the property than going through the normal path, because there's a lot of people interested in the same property.
Okay. Let's keep going.
It's working.
Yes.
Was it not working before?
I didn't think it was plugged up.
Okay. This one came from Alethea Hines. She said, "Do you accept leads that are not under contract if the numbers work?" #bird dog.
They say what now?
Do you accept leads not under contract if the numbers work? #bird dog.
We're really not set up for that. I hate to say no because there may be an opportunity. Technically, we're not set up to take on a lot of that. Let me just say that. Ideally, if you're in a bird dog position, meaning that you've done everything in my definition of a bird dog that a wholesaler has done, meaning you found a property, you've talked to the owner, you've negotiated a deal, but you don't put it on the contract. That's what we'll take on as many of those as possible. I repeat, you found a property, you've talked to the owner, you negotiated a great deal, but you just didn't put it on the contract for whatever reason, whether you're afraid to or whatever, or we all in with you. I repeat, you found the property, you talked to the owner, you negotiated a great deal because you used the calculator on Digulator.com, but you just didn't put it on the contract. Now watch what happened. Skip all that what I just said.
Hey, man, I talked to the sister.
You talk to nobody.
I talked to the cousin of the cousin. All right. This is on Instagram. What's the most important question to ask a motivated seller before putting the house under contract? The most important.
The most important question?
In your opinion.
Price.
Okay.
You need a workable price.
All right. This one came from Denise. She said, I've come across an off-market package deal that's got a little bit of everything. It's a 12-unit hotel, a 9-unit apartment complex, 2 single-family homes, and a multi-family 8-unit distressed building. How do I go about comps and MAO?
Um, well, yeah, yeah, Denise. I think I replied back to your message and gave you my email address to send over that information. But to answer your question, again, as I explained with on apartment building, which one of those properties apartments is not going to be done the same as houses. Is some houses in that package?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, you do the houses like you normally do, but on the apartments and the motel, it's totally different ballgame.
Okay. All right, this one came from Keisha Williams. She said, how do we submit the Kmart listings? Or what about old Toys R Us buildings
Well,
with a lot of parking space, no activities at this spot?
well, don't confuse it just being Kmart's, old
Mm-hmm.
Kmart. I just used that as an example because I knew they had a massive footprint throughout the country and they basically don't exist anymore. I was using that as a type of property that I'm looking for, not more so just Kmart's.
Yeah.
It's just a type of property that is a large box store. Normally there's 70,000 square feet or more. Just by fire code or permitting or zoning, they have to have a certain number of parking spaces available with that much square footage. So normally that entire property is going to probably be 5+ acres, and only less than 2 acres of it is going to be the building in most cases. So that's why I said Kmart, just because most people can identify or understand what that business used to be. Most people, even a lot of younger people, they know or whatever. So we're just not looking for Kmart. I'm just that type of property with a lot of parking. Now, the other thing that's very important is sometimes they were standalone properties,
Mm-hmm.
and then sometimes they were the anchor or one of the anchors in a shopping center.
Mm-hmm.
Kmart may be closed, but the shopping center may be still in some of the spaces may be still being leased. We're not interested in those unless the Kmart was a totally separate parcel from the rest of the shopping center. It may look like it's connected in all one property, but sometimes it's still not. But ideally, we want all of it to be vacant. Ideally.
Okay.
Makes sense?
Mm-hmm. All right, we got Alicia in the gator room. Let me add her. Hold on. Hello.
Hi, how are y'all doing today?
Good. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for asking. Sorry in advance. I'm at the park with my son if y'all hear kids screaming in the background.
Okay. Let me see.
My question is, I purchased your system through YouTube. I seen you through an ad and I didn't know that you had other videos actually on YouTube. And I've been seeing you have different systems available for virtual wholesaling. My question in specifics is, which one is the best system? I'm guessing. I know that PropStream, just based off of other people that I've spoken to, is not as up to date. So, which one is the best system for wholesaling? I know Privy is for comping. I'm
Okay.
just wanting to know. That's what
All
I'm
right.
trying to start with.
All right. Well, where are you live streaming from?
I am from Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Okay, that's not far from the ham. Okay. All right. Okay, so let's just get I guess some understanding on what is what as far as those tools. Okay, so now just we'll start with PropStream. When people say it's not up to date, PropStream is only going to be as up to date as how that county makes the information available to the public in most cases, right? So it's not PropStream per se, it's the county that you're targeting.
Yes.
All right, and so with Privy, now it has a lot of different uses, but the main thing that it's supposed to be doing, and one of the biggest things that they promote as a service, it makes it easier for you to possibly find deals that are listed with real estate agents.
Okay.
So the way I like to explain those two tools in particular is that if you're going to do off-market properties, PropStream is going to probably be a better option. If you're going to try to target properties that are on the market, Privy is going to be a better option. Now, as far as virtual wholesaling, and Privy, if you're going to target again on market properties that are listed with agents, is going to be a better option. But if you're going to target off market, listed properties, using PropStream is not really that big of a deal because they do have access to MLS also. But the only difference is, as I said, Privy is designed to help you identify deals faster that are listed with real estate agents. Hopefully, I'm answering your question. Now, as far as and I'm glad you brought that up. A lot of people see the ads that the guys that I work with on that, and they've never heard of me before, and then they'll make a purchase, and then they find out. I guess because you may do some additional research that, oh wow, he has this YouTube channel with 1,000 videos, like literally, or whatever. And so now that ain't my fault. If you pull out your credit card before you
No,
the
get
research,
your money. Look, we ain't gonna never be mad at you getting your money.
I got you. But ideally,
Turn it up.
what?
Turn her up.
Oh, I got. I'm sorry, they say I need to turn you up. Okay, so ideally though, whatever you initially spent, and I'll say I ain't turned down no money, but I just say you probably don't have to spend anything else as far as any of the courses or anything, because I literally give it all away on my YouTube channel. Now, the only thing the courses will do, they can speed up the learning process because it's organized and more step by step to help you do that. Now, I do have the set of videos that I encourage everyone to watch. Is if you text the letters DIP to the number, these videos right here is some selected videos I've taken from my channel to help, again, create a good foundation of a good understanding on what you need to do. And again, speed up the process of your learning curve process or whatever. So.
Got you. Thank you. And I have one more question. I
Yes,
text
ma'am.
you and you kind of gave me an answer. I just want to make for sure what I was hearing was correct. My specific question was starting out, is it too much to start out of town for a wholesaler?
No, it's not. Just understand that if you're going to target other markets, ideally you're going to need some BOGs, boots on the ground, to assist you with some of the grunt work that's going to be needed. So that could be a friend or family member in another city, that could be a real estate agent, or that could be another wholesaler. So I would recommend you establish that first before you start to do any try to attempt any lead generation. You need to establish that relationship if you don't already have one.
Gotcha. Well, thank you so much. I greatly appreciate this. Y'all have a great evening.
All right, you do the same. Please join us again.
Thank you. We'll do. Bye-bye.
Yes, ma'am.
Boom. All right. You want to keep going?
Yeah.
All right. This person on Instagram said if the comps in the area of the house has been recently developed, so the only comps available are newly built with more square footage, what would you do? I think she has additional.
That's a tough question to answer, in the sense that how close are those houses in the new development to your house? And there are no houses that are sold that are in the same year built as your house.
And she also added that they built some brand new apartments right across the street.
Okay, so it sounds like it's going down there, right? With new development on actual single family residence and apartments, brand new apartments being built. So that's definitely is going down right now. I would have to look at it. It's just hard for me to answer that question. I would have to look at that address for you and give you my opinion. If you would like to come on and like Alicia just did, where is it? If you'd like to come on and provide that address, I don't know if you want to give up the address or whatever, but I'll come before you live right here on the live stream. So yeah.
All right. This one came from Pardon My Opinion featuring Sean Hathaway. They said, which platform should we use, skip to flip or batch leads? When I go to Dealulator, it sends me to batch leads.
Okay, so and I need to change that back. I'm affiliated with Skip Vault and Batch Lead. Both of those skip tracing services are good. Skip Vault, if you put in Flipman as your promo code, it'll give you whatever discounts are available. It's more of a pay as you go. Whereas at Batch Lead, you're gonna have to have the at least the lowest level of membership with that site. Whereas Skip Vault is pay as you go.
Okay. Let's go to this one. They said, to get consistent deals every month, how large should my list be?
Say that again.
To get consistent deals every month, how large should my list be?
What when you say list, is the list going to be used for cold calling, direct mail, text messaging? And I would need to know that to answer that question.
Okay. Let's see. She said, I would like to work with you, Ty, on my first deal, and I know an old Bills building that has been vacant for over 10 years. It's in a shopping center that's still up and running. Would you be interested?
Okay. Some of what I explained before. Now, sometimes it may appear that it's all one property, but they may be different parcels with different owners. So if that's the case, then yeah, we'd love to take a look at it and see if it fits the buy box.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, they said, to get consistent deals every month, how large should my list be for cold calling?
Okay, and I hate to do this to you, but we're going to do it one more question. Are you going to be using a dialer? Or are you going to be doing
Tell them
on your
both.
smartphone?
Tell them both.
That makes sense, though.
Yeah. Are you being difficult?
That makes sense, though. Okay, so if you're going to be,
Sheesh.
Smart people in now. I ain't one of
Just
them.
didn't think about it.
Hey,
It
so,
had nothing to do with it. You didn't think about it.
Your ass.
all right, so that's a good one. So if you're just using your old smartphone to make the call, just banging them out one by one, then a list of 500 is going to be sufficient. So assuming all 500 is you got phone numbers for it. But if you're going to be using a dialer,
A dialer?
all I had is
A dialer?
card.
I can put it on here.
Yeah. If you're going to be using a dialer, then you want to put it on steroids. Then and it's just going to be you. A list of at least 2,500 would be ideal because it's gonna burn through them pretty fast or whatever. But when I say 2,500, that's the actual 25 with actual name and number, because you may download a list of 2,500, but only get 2,000 that are actual provide phone numbers. So
Okay. All right. Alethea Hines said, I found a lead in South Florida where the seller wants to sell a portfolio of 7 connected townhouses. They're all 2-bed, 2-bathroom. Do I comp each one of them individually?
okay, so they have a 7-unit town hall, 7-unit town hall,
Townhouse.
7-unit townhouse package.
Mm-hmm.
They're normally going to be the same price unless the square footage of beds and bath change. Normally, a lot of them are going to be the same when you start talking about townhouses. So if they're all the same, just comping one is going to be able to allow you to say, hey, that number times 7, right? As far as the ARP. So now you need to get into how many of those are rented and what rents are they collecting and what are the expenses associated with the property. Are they at market rent? Are they below market rent? Or are they above market rent? And that'll factor in is to see if there's any real value add opportunity there if they're below market rent. And you run your numbers from there. So,
All
I
right.
think I answered it.
This one came from M Star. They said, "Good day, Flipman. I'm a new investor. What is your opinion on wholesaling mobile homes, and how can I contact you with the deal that I want to JV with you? Thank you."
Okay, so welcome aboard to this world of real estate investing. So, what's my opinion on wholesaling mobile homes? It can be a tremendous opportunity. Um, it can be a tremendous opportunity. Just understanding that the evaluation process may be a little different than houses if you don't have a lot of activity as far as other mobile homes being sold with land. Now, if a mobile home has to be moved, that's a different story at that point. Now, understand that a mobile home transaction, it's just the mobile home itself, can happen just like a car. They have a bill of sale, title, boom, it's over in 5 minutes. So you could easily get cut out of that deal. Now, if land is included with it, then it goes through, or it should, it doesn't have to, but it should go through a normal closing process. Now, coming up with an evaluation on the mobile home by itself, what you can do is just reach out to mobile home dealers in that market to see what they will be willing to pay for. You'll need the year, the manufacturer, the size, and obviously does it need to be moved or not, because that'll factor in on an actual offer in most cases, and how far it will need to be moved from. You may not want to give them the address, but at least maybe the zip code where it's located. And they'll probably give you they'll give you a number of what they will be willing to pay for it. Once you know that number, you've called 2 or 3 of them, then you should know what you should know or have an idea, because that'll basically be your ARV on what your buyers are willing to pay for it, where you need to be to try to make some money off of it. But just remember, if land is not included, the transaction is going to be more like a buying an automobile from an individual, from a private party, as they say.
All right. Darius Brown said, "Is having a dialer and a virtual assistant more effective than text message campaigns? How do they compare?"
Okay, so comparing cold calling to text messaging, similar animal. What would you call text message and cold calling? So they basically got the same parent, but one of them a girl and one of them was a boy. We'll just say that. Is that a good example?
Sure.
Okay, so we know what comes with being a woman. We know what comes with being a man. Both positive, can be. But with cold calling, very time intense, right? You got to have some thick skin, whoever's doing it, and be it just takes a lot more patience, I think. And you have to be really put some good time in with it. And you have to talk to a lot more people. And you have to reach out to a lot more people to get the responses that you're looking for. Whereas with text messaging, it's one of those communication methods that pretty much everybody reads their text, right? Whether it's for someone you know or you don't know, you like or don't like, you read it. That goes a long way in getting messages out. Now, you're going to get a lot of crazy responses, stuff that people would never say to you verbally, but will say in a text message. So
absolutely,
the response rate is a lot higher. It's a little bit more expensive if done the correct way. But it's just sort of hard to say which one is better than the other. I'm just trying to give you the what to expect from both. But if you're going to use a dialer or something that's going to be more effective and efficient, then text the word dialer to the number. And on the text messaging, which is going to be where is it? Where are you, Scooby-Doo? So text the word text to the number, which is going to be an update coming. I'll have a video out here in the next week or two with the service I use, which is Batch Lead. So we got Rebecca waiting.
Okay.
Waiting.
Hi.
Becca, what's happening?
So I'm so glad that you're on today. I was on in the group chat talking about the development that they're building right across the street,
Okay, okay. Where are you live streaming from?
Huntsville,
Okay.
Alabama.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. So,
Hey, neighbor.
hey, what's happening?
Wait, where you guys are based at? How close are you guys?
Birmingham.
Oh, yeah, down the street.
Okay, yeah, like for real. Yeah. Okay, so tell us about this development.
Okay, so I have a motivated seller. Her mom recently passed, and she's been working on trying to get the house sold, but she's getting tired. I could tell she doesn't really want to use anybody else. She wants to kind of do it on her own. So I met her, saw the house. It's gonna need a lot of work. But I feel like we had a really good connection. Like she really liked me. I've talked with her recently, but there's so many developments going around her house. It's hard to really put comps down on what her value really is on that house.
Okay, cool. That's a good problem. All right, so assuming that we can get a price that works. So no one does anyone live in the property?
No.
Okay, good. All right, so what we'll do is I don't want to put your deal out there. I don't put it out there.
Is there a chat? Oh, there's a chat.
So I'm not going to. So what you'll do is just text me. Forget about the word text there. Just text me on the number here, right?
Okay.
And just tell me. Just say Huntsville property, and then I'll contact for you. We'll discuss. Off air.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that sounds interesting. So hopefully,
it does. It sounds good to me. Now, I'm gonna be honest. I'm new. I'm also new.
Yes, ma'am.
So I've been keeping my eye out. There was a duplex that I missed on, and I was like, I can't let another one go, and me not get on it. So I have two possibles. Another duplex coming up soon. So I'm trying to. There's some things that I want to see happen before the end of this year. So I really would need some help. And I'll be happy. Like I'll be grateful for anything that you could tell me.
Okay, yeah. So we'll get on it with
y'all are really down the street. Okay, I didn't know.
Yeah, like for real. Like, yeah. So we'll get that information and then we'll have a conversation later on today. If it's not me, it'll be a partner there in Huntsville. So
okay, great. Yeah. Thank you.
No problem at all. Great meeting.
Same here.
Look forward to getting info.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Topic.
TOP time. TOPIC time. I seen a restaurant. I was going up through Vestavia. Mm-hmm. It was called a unique name, something with land and sea. It was called no, that was the tagline, land and sea, but it was like something crabbers or something like that, land and sea. So I'm headed there when we sold it to check them out. All right. So anyway, they call that marketing, signage. All right. So the topic for today is seller signed the contract. What's next? So what we're referring to. So now it makes sense. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So what we're referring to. Try to be colorful.
Colorful.
A lot of different races and stuff.
Yes, we are the world.
So anyway, so you have a contract signed from your motivated seller. You know the numbers work. You got a deal. You're confident that the numbers work. Okay, you use my deal calculator. The numbers work, right? All right. So what's next? So you don't have any buyers. You're going to pre-nilling, right? Skinny dipping. So now, what are you going to do to find a buyer? Okay, so probably one of the best free ways to market a deal right now is Facebook Marketplace, right? That title is very important to get exposure. So what am I trying to say? So that's one place. The next thing you're going to do is, might as well, if it's still free in your market, post it on Craigslist, can't hurt none. The lady that did the $285,000 assignment fee, her buyer came from Craigslist. So it can still work. All right. Any Facebook groups that are local to that market, I said Facebook Marketplace, but Facebook groups you want to post in there also. Real estate investment groups and wholesale groups. Okay. Now, you're going to go to old Google and do a search. Sell my house fast. Buy my house fast. Those first 2 or 3 pages of results are going to be real players on the wholesale side and maybe even the flipping side. They're trying to buy leads, pay-per-click. You can use, you can go, oh, here it is. Oh, wait, let me pull this out in a minute. You can watch this video right here, and this video will show you how to leverage real estate agents to find buyers for your property. Okay, so boom. So now we'll assume you got a buyer. So now what's going to happen, especially if it's a really good deal, now 10 people may call you, reach out to you within a few days. You can only sell it to one of them. Those other 9 will help you build a future buyers list. Okay, so when I say that, you want the contact information, obviously, what areas they buy in, price range, how many they buy per month, what level of repairs they like to deal with, what size of the house, meaning bedrooms, the bath square footage minimums. All right, and boom, that one deal may produce you $1 million over the next 2-3 years just because of the buyers that it produced. You may have made $15,000 on it, but it may produce 8 figures over, well, not 8, 6 figures over the next year because of the buyers that you met through that one deal that you marketed, but you can only sell it to one person. Okay, so now, assuming you found a buyer, they went and checked it out, you put it's the paperwork now. So you have it under contract with the seller at one price. We'll just use some easy numbers, $100,000, but you find a buyer that's willing to pay $115,000 for it. So you put them under contract. So now you close on the property, and the difference of the 2 contracts is going to be your assignment fee if you double close or whatever. So that $15,000 difference is your money. And so when you close on it, the buyer brings all the money to the table to close the deal, and normally the closing costs. So that's why your cash or credit doesn't matter, because they're going to fund the deal, and the seller gets what they agreed upon, which is the $100,000. You get the $15,000, which is the difference between the 2 contracts. Buyer takes possession, and it's a win-win-win for everyone. Everybody's happy, happy, happy. Just like that. Boom.
Right. Okay. You want to keep going?
No. We're hour in. Huh? Yeah. Okay. My gun says it's over. All right. So I just understand it's over with. So we appreciate everyone that participated today. You didn't get your questions answered. Post them in the comment section of any of my YouTube videos, and I answer those on a daily basis. Remember to go to VIP, text the letters VIP to the number if you want to access that playlist of videos to get you going in the right direction. So with all of that being said, we'll see you guys tomorrow on the FLIP-SIDE.
Text me and I'll text you back. Text me and I'll text you back. Text me and I'll text you back. You text me then I'll text you back. Text me then I'll text you back. TikTok, you don't stop. I will help you make your paper stack. Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Where you at now? 205-964-52439. Yep. 205